I never thought I'd be the kind of guy who ends up dumping his whole damn life on the internet. But when everything you thought was solid starts cracking at the same time, you get real desperate for somewhere to put all that noise in your head. So yeah, here I am, typing this out like it's some kind of confession, because right now it feels easier than sitting in my empty living room, staring at the walls, and pretending I'm fine. Marcus and me went way back. I'm talking high school, before bills and marriages and kids made everything complicated. We played football together, skipped class together, got into dumb fights together, and somehow always ended up having each other's backs no matter what kind of trouble we got into. When people said stuff like, "Blood is thicker than water," I used to laugh, because to me Marcus was proof that family didn't always have to share your last name. He was my brother in every way that counted. When I met Lily, he was right there from the start. Teasing me for being soft, telling me I was whipped, but always with that grin that said he was actually happy for me. Lily fit into my life in this quiet, steady way that made everything else feel calmer. She wasn't dramatic, she wasn't the type to chase excitement, she just wanted a good life, a warm home, and people she could trust. I loved her for that. Hell, I still do, even after everything. Marcus stood next to me at our wedding, hand on my shoulder, smiling like he was proud of the man I'd become. When Lily walked down the aisle, I remember looking at him and thinking how lucky I was to have both of them in my life, my wife and my best friend, both right there in front of me. It sounds stupid now, but back then it felt like I'd won the lottery. Life wasn't perfect after that, but it was ours. We had our routines, our lazy Sundays, our late-night talks about dreams that were probably never gonna happen but felt good to imagine. When our daughter was born, Marcus showed up at the hospital with a little pink hoodie and a stupid grin, acting like he was already the coolest uncle in the world. I trusted him around my family the same way I trusted myself. Then his life started falling apart. He lost his job, then his apartment, and suddenly he was crashing on couches, running out of places to go. When he called me, voice low and embarrassed, asking if he could stay with us. Just for a bit. I didn't even hesitate. Lily didn't either. We told him he could have the spare room, that he could stay as long as he needed to get back on his feet. That's the thing about being loyal to the wrong people. You don't realize you're opening the door to hell, you just think you're doing the right thing. Once Marcus moved in, the whole vibe of the house shifted. At first it was small stuff. He was always in the kitchen when Lily was cooking, cracking jokes, offering to help. He'd sit next to her on the couch while I was busy with the baby, talking low like they were sharing secrets. I didn't think much of it, because why would I? This was my wife and my best friend. The two people I trusted most in the world. But over time, it started to feel weird. Lily would get quiet when I walked into a room. Marcus would suddenly remember he had to make a call, and disappear. Sometimes I'd catch them looking at each other just a second too long, like they were speaking a language I wasn't part of. Every time it happened, this little knot would twist in my stomach, but I kept telling myself I was being paranoid, that I was letting stress get to me. I was working more hours back then, trying to keep up with bills and diapers and all that real-life pressure, so maybe that made it easier for them to do whatever they were doing right under my nose. All I knew was that my home, the place that used to feel safe, started to feel like it was full of secrets I wasn't supposed to know. And I swear, deep down, I think a part of me already knew something was wrong. I just wasn't ready to face how bad it really was. It didn't hit me like a thunderclap. No, it crept up slow, like a shadow in the corner of the room that you notice but hope isn't really there. At first, it was tiny things I didn't even want to pay attention to. Marcus would help Lily with little chores, staying in the kitchen a little too long, leaning over to grab something, standing way too close when she laughed at something he said. I'd catch them whispering in corners, heads bent together like they were sharing secrets meant for nobody else. I kept telling myself I was imagining it, that it was harmless, that I was just being tired and stressed from work, bills, diapers, the pressure of being a husband and dad. But that knot in my stomach? It didn't go away. It grew. Every laugh, every glance, every brush of hands, It ate me alive a little more each day. Then came the night I'll never forget. I had worked a double shift and decided to get home early, thinking I could surprise Lily with takeout, maybe make her laugh, maybe get a hug and just breathe for a minute. I opened the front door, and the first thing I noticed was the music, soft, slow, low. The kind of music you put on when you're not trying to hide anything. My chest tightened instantly, that same gut punch feeling I'd been ignoring for weeks. I walked down the hallway and peeked into the living room, and there they were. Marcus and Lily. Close. Too close. The kind of close that makes your stomach twist so hard you feel sick. Their heads were together, whispering in low tones, hands brushing like they didn't even care if I saw. My mind went blank, then raced all at once. I wanted to scream, to hit something, to wake the baby, to make the walls shake so badly they couldn't pretend it wasn't happening. But I couldn't. I just stood there, frozen, like my body had betrayed me and decided to turn into stone. Lily looked up first. Her eyes widened. Panic. Guilt. And in that instant I felt like I didn't even know her anymore. Marcus didn't flinch. Didn't apologize. Didn't step back. His eyes went hard, cold, calculating. "You don't understand," he said. Calm. Dangerous calm. "She wants this. I'm helping her, man." My blood ran cold. Helping her? Helping her? You're sleeping with her behind my back, helping her? Are you kidding me? He smirked, like I'd said something cute. It's complicated. She's not happy with you. You don't see it, but I do. And that's when I felt it, the full force of betrayal. Not just Marcus, not just Lily. Both of them, my two most trusted people, stabbing me in a million invisible ways at once. I wanted to punch him, shake him, yell so loud the windows broke, but I didn't. I couldn't. I felt like my body had betrayed me as much as my mind. And Lily, she didn't move. Didn't step away, didn't cry, didn't say sorry. She just stood there, wide-eyed, like she was frozen between guilt and desire. Like she couldn't even breathe without thinking of him. I remember thinking, that's my wife. That's my home. That's my best friend. And somehow, they had invaded both. I walked out that night. Didn't yell. Didn't argue. Didn't touch her. Needed air. Needed space. Needed something that didn't feel like my life had been ripped out from under me. I got in my truck and sat there for hours, gripping the wheel like it could keep me from floating away into some nightmare I didn't want to live. The streets were empty, the night quiet, but inside my chest was a hurricane. I felt powerless in a way I've never felt before or since. My home, my marriage, my family trust, all of it shattered. The two people I trusted most in the world, my wife and my brother, had turned against me. They had manipulated my home, my heart, my life. And that feeling, that gut punch betrayal? It wasn't going away. Not then. Not ever. Even sitting there in the dark, I knew this was only the beginning. I didn't know the half of what was coming. Marcus didn't just steal my wife, he was going to destroy everything else too, piece by piece. And Lily, well, I didn't know where she stood. Did she regret it yet? Was she already planning how to justify herself? Or had she convinced herself it was all worth it? I didn't have answers. Only a knot in my gut that wouldn't untangle, and the knowledge that once someone betrays you this badly, there's no undoing it. Not ever. I thought I could handle it. I really did. I told myself I'd take the high road, stay calm, let Lily come to me if she wanted to fix things. But then she showed up. A knock at the door late one night. I froze before I even moved. My hands tightened around the doorknob. Part of me wanted to throw her out before she even stepped in. Part of me wanted to slam the door and never see her again. She walked in like nothing had happened at all soft smiles and teary eyes, like some sad movie version of my wife. But I could see through it. I could see Marcus all over her, the way she walked, the little curl of her lip when she smiled nervously, the way her hands fidgeted when she was trying to look innocent. I knew she had been lying to me all this time, letting him twist her mind, letting him get what he wanted, and now she had the audacity to stand in front of me, expecting forgiveness. "Hey," she said softly, voice trembling. I want to talk." I didn't answer. I just leaned against the counter, arms crossed, heart hammering, trying to figure out if I could even believe she had anything real to say. She stepped closer. "I'm sorry. I didn't know what I was thinking. Marcus, he wasn't right. I made a mistake. I want us to work this out. I want our family back." I laughed, bitter and short. "You want our family back? You mean the one you abandoned for him? The one you ran away from because you couldn't say no?" She flinched. I didn't mean for it to happen like that. I was confused. I didn't know how to." I cut her off. "Confused? Confused? You let him manipulate you. You let him sneak in, steal everything we built together, and now you're standing here, asking me to forgive you?" Her eyes welled up. She tried to reach for my hand. I stepped back. Don't touch me. Not yet. I can't lose you," she whispered. "I made a huge mistake. I want to fix it. I want to come back." I stared at her. I wanted to believe her, wanted to think that maybe this was a turning point, that she finally realized how badly she screwed up. But the truth was, I didn't know if I could trust her anymore. Trust had been shattered in ways that weren't easy to repair. Every touch, every word from Marcus, every night she spent whispering to him instead of being with me, those things didn't just disappear. "You think you can just walk back in and say sorry, and I'm supposed to take you back like nothing happened?" I asked. My voice was low, tight. "Do you even hear yourself?" Tears streaked her face, and she nodded. I know it won't be easy. I know I have to earn it back. Please, give me a chance. Just one chance." I wanted to scream at her. I wanted to throw her out and never see her again. But underneath all that anger, there was something else, pain, heartbreak, the part of me that still loved her and wanted to believe that she could come back to the woman I married. I didn't answer. I didn't know what to say. All I knew was that my world had changed forever, and the person I thought I could trust more than anyone had let someone else waltz in and burn it all down. I let her stay that night, but only because part of me still needed to hear her say it, needed to know she realized what she had done. And as she sat on the couch, wringing her hands, I could feel the tension in the house tighten even more. The damage was done, and there was no undoing it. I had a choice: start rebuilding, or let it destroy me completely. And deep down, I knew either path was going to hurt like hell. The next few days were a nightmare I couldn't escape. Lily stayed, claiming she wanted to fix things, but every word she spoke had this weight of guilt and fear. And every time I looked at her, I could still see Marcus's shadow all over her, the way he had made her laugh, the way he had leaned in too close, the way she had let him in while I was blind to it. I wanted to scream, throw things, punch walls, anything to make the fire inside me stop. I finally knew I had to face Marcus. I called him, told him to meet me outside the house. He rolled up 20 minutes later in that same smug, overconfident way that made me want to vomit. He didn't even act like he'd done anything wrong, like stealing my wife and my trust was just some harmless prank. "Marcus," I said, my voice shaking but loud enough to make him stop laughing. "We need to talk." He leaned back against his truck like he owned the street. "Yeah, sure, man. What's up? What the hell were you thinking?" I demanded, my chest burning. "You wormed your way into my life, my house, my family, and now you think you can just, what? Take her and walk away?" He laughed, that low, mean laugh that used to make me roll my eyes in high school. "Take her? Man, you gotta be kidding me. She came to me. She wanted out? You were too busy working your butt off to notice what she really wanted." My hands balled into fists. "Don't you dare make this about me. You seduced my wife while pretending to be my brother. You lied, manipulated, and used her, and now you think you're some kind of hero?" His smirk faded, replaced with something sharper, darker. Hey, don't get all righteous on me. I didn't force her. I just opened her eyes. You're the one who's blind. I stared at him, seething, my mind spinning. Part of me wanted to hit him right then and there. Part of me just wanted to walk away and never deal with either of them again. But I knew if I walked away, he'd keep thinking he'd won. I couldn't let that happen. I stepped closer, voice low and dangerous. You're done, Marcus. You're out of my life. You're out of my wife's life. And if I ever see you near my family again, it won't be just words, you understand me? He tilted his head, pretending to consider it, then finally shrugged. All right. You're intense, man. Fine. I'll back off, for now. I didn't trust him, and I didn't let him leave without seeing the anger and betrayal etched on my face. I needed him to know he hadn't won, not entirely. Then I went back inside, and Lily was sitting there on the couch, hands twisting together, face pale and drawn. She looked like she'd aged 10 years overnight. I didn't mean for it to happen like that, she whispered. I sat down across from her, still shaking with anger and pain. Then why did it happen? Why did you let him get in? Was I not enough? Did you not care about us at all? Her eyes filled with tears. I don't know. I was weak. I let him charm me. I let him make me feel important. I messed up. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't want to lose you, not after everything. I could feel the rage, the betrayal, every little thing Marcus had done pressing against me like a weight. But under that, there was still a tiny spark, love, or maybe hope, that this was still the woman I married. I didn't answer. I couldn't. I just sat there, letting her cry, letting her own guilt fill the room. Over the next days, everything felt tense, like walking on shattered glass. We had conversations about boundaries, trust, and what she had to do to make this right. And even though every fiber of me wanted to lash out, to scream, to leave her behind forever, I realized something. If I walked away now, I'd lose not just my wife, but the family we built together. The daughter who didn't deserve any of this mess. So I made a choice. A painful, agonizing choice. I told her we'd try, but it would take time. No shortcuts. No forgetting. No excuses. And every day, I reminded myself that trust had to be rebuilt from scratch, brick by brick, because anything less would just let Marcus win. But even with that decision, the house felt different. Every corner reminded me of him, every laugh and glance made me wary, every day was a battle not to let the past poison what we still had left. And the truth was, I didn't know if the wounds would ever fully heal. But I also knew one thing. I wouldn't let anyone, not Marcus, not anyone else, tear apart my family again without a fight. Lily stayed, trying, apologizing, begging in her own quiet way for me to believe that she could come back. And I wanted to believe her. I wanted to. But every glance, every hesitation, every tiny slip of memory, like when she laughed at a joke that Marcus had once made me jump back into that raw pit of rage and betrayal. Marcus didn't disappear overnight either. I'd catch glimpses of his truck down the street, or a shadow in the neighborhood park where I used to take my daughter, or texts on my phone from unknown numbers that smelled like him. Even knowing he wasn't supposed to be around, even with the boundaries I set, there was this gnawing feeling that he hadn't given up, that he was just waiting for the next crack, the next mistake, the next moment to worm back into our lives. I started sleeping with the doors locked, double-checking windows, checking the baby monitor in ways that weren't rational but felt necessary. Part of me hated myself for letting fear rule me, but the other part, the part that had been betrayed by the two people I trusted most, the part that had to keep my family safe, it wasn't going away. And then there was Lily. I could see the effort in her every move, the way she tried to make home feel like home again. She didn't just apologize, she took action. She gave me the space I demanded, she went to therapy, she faced her own mistakes without hiding. And slowly, inch by inch, she earned some of the ground back. Not all of it, never all of it, but some. One night, sitting on the couch after putting our daughter to bed, she turned to me and said, "I don't expect you to forgive me fully, not yet. I don't want us to fall apart completely." I looked at her. Really looked at her. For the first time since the betrayal, I saw her as the woman I married, not the woman who ran into someone else's arms, not the woman who let Marcus manipulate her. Just her. And I realized something I hadn't admitted even to myself before: I still loved her. Not blindly, not foolishly, but in the messy, broken way that love stays even when trust is fractured. We started talking more openly, about everything: Marcus, the lies, the temptation, the fear, the guilt. We laid everything on the table. There were nights we'd argue for hours, and mornings when we didn't speak at all, just sat in the same room, pretending silence was peace. It wasn't. But it was a start. I also realized that this wasn't just about forgiveness, it was about survival. About making a life that Marcus couldn't touch, about protecting my daughter from the chaos we'd endured, about rebuilding our family, piece by piece, even if the pieces were jagged and scarred. Eventually, the panic faded. Marcus stopped showing up in ways he could, finally realizing that we weren't going to let him back in. Lily kept proving, day after day, that she wanted this marriage, not the fantasy he had built for her. And me? I learned something I didn't expect: I'm stronger than I thought. I can endure betrayal. I can survive someone I trusted most turning against me. And maybe, just maybe, I can learn to trust again, not blindly, but wisely. So here's my takeaway for anyone reading this: betrayal cuts deep, and sometimes the people you love most are capable of unimaginable deception. But truth matters. Confrontation matters. Protecting your family matters, even if it means facing the people you trusted the most and telling them exactly what they did to you. And Reddit, here's my question to you, the part 1 haven't figured out myself. If someone you trusted destroyed your world but then came crawling back, begging to fix it, would you let them? Would you fight to rebuild, or would you walk away and protect what's left of your heart before it can be burned again? Because I'm living it every day, and I still don't know the answer. But I do know one thing: I'm not letting anyone take my family from me again. Not Marcus. Not anyone.